everybody. It's time for another bee inspection. We're in the late fall and already extracted the honey, but we want to check the bees out, make sure everything's going well. This I noticed this is my experimental frame, the one that I had no foundation on. So this is free-form cell, and they're not doing much. They're putting a little bit of honey on it at the top, and then got a couple tunnels and an open bottom, but large cells, nothing inside of them. Just maybe getting ready to fill them up with honey for the winter. Funny, the difference, the honey, the frames with honey on them are kind of yellow, whereas the frames with brood, kind of a darker brown color. You can see the capped cells with brood in there. So looks like they're coming along, getting ready for the cold winter. Okay, so continuing on, we into the second box up, and I noticed that this is mainly honey. This is a very heavy frame full of capped honey for winter. It's going to be a lot of nice food stores for them. I don't know why this particular area is really dark honey and this is lighter honey, but anyway, that's the way it is. Got a little bee doing some housekeeping right there, but there it is. That's the second box appears to be mostly honey at this point, which is to be expected. So this one has got mostly capped. There's a little bit at the bottom is still not capped honey yet, but these are very heavy. These probably weigh 10 pounds plus. Amazingly, this center section's got a lot of pollen in it, whereas the honey is in the upper portion of the frame. Interesting. My able assistant Derek here is doing a little housekeeping with me here.
Just a little.
Just a little. Oh, this one's a lighter frame.
Lots of brood on this side.
It's just mostly brood, so you can see the difference, color difference immediately. Let me see if I can show this to the camera here. I've got a drone right here. That bee that large fat bee right there is a drone.
Monster bee.
And this section right here is drone brood, large, and there's another drone sitting right there. See how large and fat those guys are. This section with all the brood on it, that looks mostly capped, so they'll be emerging within the next week or so. But, you can see a lot of these bees out getting pollen. You get a little stripe of pollen on their backs. A number of them have that. You can kind of see a little spot on them. Just wanted to show a couple of bees with some pollen. This one right here, it's got bright orange pollen on the legs there. It's kind of interesting to see the different variation of pollen colors that we see through the season. Mostly yellow, but every once in a while you see nice bright orange. Let's see if I can get that for sure on the camera.
A lot of my pollen cells in my hive have this bright magenta.
Yeah.
I have no idea what plant that's coming from.
Okay, we're into the third box now, and this is a box that I've replaced one of the extracted honey frames put it back in, and there was a little bit of residue of honey in there when I put it back in. When you extract the honey, it gets 90% of the honey out, but not 100%, so there's a little left in there. But so I put that back in a couple of weeks ago, and as I'm looking at it now, it's completely clean. There's not a drop of honey in there. They've really cleaned it out. It's amazing how they do that. They either ate it or moved the honey. And on this side, they actually are putting honey back in. But that was an interesting factoid from the world of honey. The world of honeybees. Let's take a look at a few more of these. This again, this is the newest box, even though I've got it in the third spot. And they haven't done a lot of. This one's an empty. They haven't really worked on that one at all yet. And it looks like they're the 1, 2, 3. They really haven't done anything on. But 4, frame 4, they've really started up. And this one is heavy. This is full of honey. Or I should say it's full of sugar syrup, because that's what I'm feeding them right now here in the fall. So they've done a pretty good job on frame number 4. A little spot right here, they've got brood in there. That's kind of unusual, but it's probably a little bit of drone brood because it's larger frame, larger cell size.
It's heavy.
It's heavy. These honey frames are quite heavy. Another one full of honey, capped at the top. This one's capped only halfway down, but it's full of honey or syrup.
Syrup.
Yeah. So I've got a little frame feeder in this top box, the 4th box. All of these frames up here are the extracted honey frames, and they've already filled them up with the sugar syrup because they were basically already drawn comb that had the honey extracted in them. So it was quick work for them to take the honey out of these little feeder trays. They go down these little holes right here, and they just take the syrup and fill the cells back up over there. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with my sugar syrup while Derek films me. Ooh. This does kill a few bees that are kind of sitting in the entrance of the tray, but or drowns them in the sugar syrup at the bottom here. But let's go ahead and fill it up. I've got about a gallon here of syrup that will fit into this tray. They go through probably more than, or a gallon in less than a week at this stage. This is a 2-to-1 sugar to water mixture. Fill it right up. That one bee is drinking right from the stream. Whoops, sorry bee. He just doused his head with, there it is, right to the tippy top. Excellent. I'll ask Derek to hold the camera while I do a fall medication. This is a antibacterial mixture. It's to prevent foul brood. So I'm going to just shake a little into the hive. They will kind of clean it up, and in the process they medicate themselves. So I'll do this a couple times this fall, and that will prevent disease, foul brood, American foul brood, European foul brood, from getting into my hive. So there we go. Maybe you could sweep that into the crevices there. Let that fall down into the hive and get on the bees. See that little bee got covered there, a couple of It's just a mixture of powdered sugar and the medication. They eat the sugar because it's sweet, and
it also knocks off most varroa mites. It'll knock it off.
Yeah.
Knock them off.
So there we go. Medicated.